Hello everyone again. In this video, we will talk about a great tool that helps us catch up with the movements of the trend and determine the places of entry and exit. It will also help us determine the breakout when it occurs. As you can see, there are many breakouts here, but sometimes it is difficult to identify them, even with the use of support and resistance lines. For example, let's draw some resistance lines and some trend lines. Let this be the first resistance line, and as we learned earlier, resistance lines turn into support lines as soon as they are breached upwards. Let's complete the example and draw other lines. Now, let's draw some trend lines. This drawing may be correct, but there are many possibilities to draw it, and that may make drawing it very confusing. Okay, let's delete all these lines. Well, after this fast example, let's look at a simpler and more accurate tool, which is the Pitchfork. There are many types of Pitchfork, but now, let's talk about the normal one. You can use it from a 30-minute frame to a day, but the larger the frame, the more accurate. In this example, let's take a 1-hour frame. Alright, let's take some space and talk about the Pitchfork quickly. Its drawing is very simple. It starts from point 1 and ends at point 3. Do not confuse yourself and follow me, you will understand everything. When we notice that the trend is rising, we draw it from bottom to top. But when we notice that the trend is moving down, we draw it from top to bottom. Nothing is better than a practical explanation. Let's eliminate these things and go back to the chart. Well, let's pick a random point to trade and see how this tool is plotted. Let's pick up any location of the trade first, then we will run to see the results. Now, let's say we want to enter here, but we don't know if it is a good site to enter or not. Well, let's apply the Pitchfork to understand more. Well, let's see the direction of the trend in this area. Is it up or down? This looks good, the trend is moving up. This candle has fallen more than this, and this means that the trend is moving up. Now let's measure the period, because it is not correct to draw a Pitchfork in a short period. For example, in 1-hour frame, try to be within 10 days. Now we have learned some conditions for drawing the Pitchfork tool, and this is the most important thing so far. But there is another thing that you should focus on. There must be a top and a bottom for the trend before the last candle you want to start from, and it cannot be applied if the trend is moving in a straight line, or in the case of strong pumping or dumping event. Now to the Pitchfork tool. Start from the bottom of a candle in the area we identified, which is within 10 days as we said earlier. Then move to the nearest 2 points, which are the top and the bottom before the targeted candle, which is the candle from which we will start trading. Excellent. Now the trend should move according to the Pitchfork lines. The line at the top will be a resistance and exit line, the red line will be neutral, and we will use it to identify some trades, and the line below will be a support and entry line. Well, let's run it and see what happens. This is great, here we were able to identify a breakout, which is a good entry point. Let's draw a simple resistance line and compare. Well, that's good and looks like a real breakout. Okay, let's go on and see. Here, when the trend touches the resistance line of the Pitchfork tool, here will be an exit point. Here too, the trend rebounded up, and it may be another entry point that needs to be confirmed by some indicators, but the lower resistance line remains the best to enter. Here the red line has become weak and may be breached down at any moment. And if this happens, we will be waiting for it to take advantage of this breakdown to enter again. Here a fake breakdown occurred. It may be because we didn't draw the tool well. Let's fix it up and see closely. Everything looks good, so you have to draw it carefully and try to choose the magnet tool to apply it right way. And we will talk about the magnet tool, just watch the video. Well, let's go ahead and see what else happens. Here too, a breakout occurred. But as you can see, it is weak, and the reason is that the red line does not depend on it much. Well, this is the end of the chart, so the player has stopped, but I think we have come to know the importance of this tool in determining the places of buying and selling in a new way. Like this entry point and this breakout. If you look at the period in which we use this tool, you will notice that it is about a month, and the trend did not exit its lines, but rather was moving within it, so that we can benefit from this movement in a valuable way. Well, let me show you one more thing. Since we are using the basic Pitchfork tool, you don't have to worry about drawing it. You can draw the points 2 and 1 as you like, from top to bottom, or from bottom to top. No matter. You will get the same results. Now let's try the Pitchfork in the event of a downtrend and see how to deal with it. Let's choose any point on the chart and start there. Set a sufficient period of time, as mentioned before, so that the Pitchfork can collect enough data to give good results. Draw from the highest point above to the bottom, and then to the last point. You can use the magnet tool to get an accurate connection between the points. Just click on it and try it. It may be a little annoying, but you will get used to it. This is good, and it seems that the trend has bounced from the resistance line, and it may return to the red line, or it may break out to the top, and that will be what we are looking for. But to know what happens, let's run and see. Yes, the breakout has happened up, and it can be used as an important entry point. Let's draw a simple resistance line and see the difference. It's almost the same, but the Pitchfork tool was more accurate because it tracks the movement of the trend moment by moment. Now that the trend has moved out of the Pitchfork lines, what should we do? Well, we can draw another Pitchfork and leave the first one on the chart, but to reduce the hassle we will delete it after it is expired, and we will draw a new Pitchfork according to the new trend movement. Well, we will try it in short periods and see the results. Let it be 5 days. At first glance, it looks good, but this is not true. 5 days is not good for collecting enough data on the trend movement. Well, let's play and see what happens. As you can see, the trend came out of the pitchfork lines quickly, and it couldn't carry it more than a few hours. Always look for the right period and look at the movement of the trend, is it up or down. As we said before, try to be within 10 days, the longer the duration, the better the data that Pitchfork extracts. Take your time and don't rush, with practice you will get used to drawing it simply. Here we have drawn it very simply, just focus and repetition will enable you to learn one of the best trading tools because it uses the same Fibonacci lines calculations and its accuracy is amazing. Let's take a peek at the types of pitchforks that we did not talk about, and if you liked it, leave a comment so that we can complete its full explanation. Schiff pitchfork, modified Schiff pitchfork, and inside pitchfork. Each one takes its shape according to a certain trend movement, and also increasing the lines is a wonderful feature, which sometimes avoid us of drawing another and another pitchfork. Well, thanks for watching, and I hope that you will leave a comment or any inquiries so that we can know your opinions and requests. Do not forget to subscribe. Thank you, and good luck.